So I'm sure many of you, as a passenger, step on board a plane, and then you just look around and you don't think about what's really going on the flight deck, in the cockpit. You think you're just getting on a plane, I'm going to a destination, and that's it. Meanwhile, just a few feet in front of you, there's a whole new story going on. There are two people who are controlling that plane, and not just two people, but then there's several others who are also watching it and giving it commands. In the cockpit, there are many components, in general, there are many components to flying. You have aerodynamics, which is, I'm sure many of you have heard of aerodynamics. It's where something can easily slice through wind, or it can easily slice through it without any resistance. There's different parts to a plane. You have your ailerons, elevators, you have your flaps, spoilers, rudder. They're all operated by either a joystick or a control yoke in the cockpit. They're operated with a system of cables that connect to a main, I don't know the name for it, but it connects to a main cable box, which then, makes it a little bit easier, otherwise the resistance would be too difficult. You also have your navigation, which in the old days was a lot harder than what it is now. So we have modern day equipment such as GPS, or such as a compass. I guess that is kind of ancient equipment as well, but it's still useful. Let's see, what else is there? You also have your, different procedures. You have your landing procedures, you have takeoff procedures, you have climbing procedures. It's very different for different aircraft. For example, when you're coming into land, I'll give that procedure. It's probably most easy to understand. When you're coming into land, there are different aircraft that are in the airspace. You have to watch out for several other aircraft. You have to deal with the air traffic controller that is trying to give you information and tell you commands while you're trying to fly a plane simultaneously. Sometimes it can get kind of stressful and confusing from time to time because you're trying to, land a plane and you're being told all this other unnecessary information that's really distracting. You can typically you have to follow the air traffic controller's commands. When he tells you to descend, descend and maintain. You're supposed to descend and maintain a certain altitude. That tells you. Many pilots don't understand why that is, but what they don't know is that there is a specific purpose to it, in that there is a meaning to it. And sometimes you get frustrated, like, why am I going to do that if it's pointless to me? But what else is there? There's also flare. Flare is the procedure that you use when you pull up on the joystick or control yoke and you touch down on the runway with your main set of landing gear. Different aircraft have different sets of landing gear. Sometimes it can be 3 wheels across, sometimes it can be 2 wheels across, sometimes they're tilted forward or back. And the reason why they do that is so it's easier. It makes it for a smoother landing. It doesn't make for such a hard landing. So, on a runway, in case you haven't noticed, next time when you get on a plane and you look at the runway, there are different markings. You have your four markings, your solid markings, your third markings, your 2 markings, and your single markings. The aircraft is supposed to touch down on the single markings. As soon as you pass that point, it's usually about time to do a go around. So yeah, thank you for your time. That's a lot to say.